Heather Mizeur. Heather R. Mizeur mih-ZEER, born December 6, 1972, is an American politician who served as a member of the Maryland House of Delegates from January 10, 2007 to January 14, 2015, representing the 20th District in Montgomery County. She was a candidate for governor of Maryland in the 2014 election, but lost the Democratic primary to Lieutenant Governor Anthony G. Brown. In 2021, she announced her intention to run for Maryland's 1st congressional district against incumbent Republican Congressman Andy Harris following his response to the 2021 storming of the Capitol. Early life and education. Mizeur was born on December 6, 1972 in Blue Mound, Illinois. Her father, Dale Mizeur, was a welder at the Caterpillar Ink factory and a member of the United Auto Workers. She attended Blue Mound High School, where she graduated as valedictorian of her graduating class. Mizeur attended the University of Illinois from 1991 to 1994, but dropped out to pursue a career on Capitol Hill. Career. Mizeur began her career as an aide to Marjorie Margolis-Mezvinsky, DPA, and Sheila Jackson Lee, DTX. In 1995, she became Rep. Joseph P. Kennedy Roman II's Legislative Director. In 1998, Mizeur was named a Director of State Affairs at the National Association of Community Health Centers, an organization advocating for improved access to health care for the uninsured. In 2003, she became John Kerry's Director of Domestic Policy and authored much of his health care platform for the John Kerry 2004 presidential campaign. Mizeur was first elected to public office in 2003 when she won a seat on the Takoma Park City Council. Maryland House of Delegates. Elections. In 2006, Mizeur ran for a seat in the Maryland House of Delegates in District 20, which comprises Silver Spring, Takoma Park, Colesville, and White Oak in southeastern Montgomery County. In the Democratic primary, Mizeur garnered the most votes in a 7-candidate field for 3 seats, receiving 8,176 votes. She faced only nominal Republican opposition in the general election and was elected by a wide margin. In 2010, Mizeur and fellow incumbent delegates Sheila Hickson and Tom Hucker defeated 3 primary challengers by a wide margin and then won unopposed in the general election. In both elections, Mizeur secured endorsements from the Washington Post, the Montgomery County Education Association, the League of Conservation Voters, the Sierra Club, and NARAL Pro-Choice Maryland, among many others. Tenure. Education. Mizeur serves as vice chair of the Education and Economic Development Subcommittee, which has primary jurisdiction over the state's $12.07 billion Caymanas 12 and higher education budget. During her time as vice chair, Caymanas 12 public education funding has increased by more than $400 million and higher education funding increased by $350 million. In 2012, Mizeur voted against a proposal to shift teacher pension costs to county governments. Environment. Delegate Mizeur has been a high-profile supporter of stronger regulations on hydraulic fracturing, or fracking. In 2010, she authored a Baltimore Sun op-ed, Water on Fire, calling attention to the drilling practice. In 2011, she introduced the Marcellus Shale Safe Drilling Act to require strict safety studies on fracking in Maryland. Mizeur's bill passed the House but failed in the Senate. However, Mizeur's bill led to creation of the Marcellus Shale Safe Drilling Initiative under a gubernatorial executive order. Mizeur serves on the Initiatives Commission, which is charged with studying the environmental, economic, and health impacts of fracking. In September 2011, Mizeur authored a Democratic National Committee resolution pressuring the president to reject the proposed Keystone XL pipeline. 2 months later, she was a featured speaker at the 12,000-person KXL rally in Washington, D.C. to protest the pipeline. The Baltimore Sun has labeled her one of the leading environmental advocates in the General Assembly for her work on the environment. Government transparency. In 2010, MISER introduced the Maryland Open Government Act, which sought to post General Assembly committee votes online, eliminate an $800 fee, and enable free public access to the General Assembly's up-to-the-minute bill tracking service, post General Assembly committee agendas a day in advance, webcast committee hearings, and bring greater transparency. The bill was ultimately referred to an interim summer study that led to adoption of many of these reforms. In 2011, Delegate Mizeur introduced a bill that created the Joint Committee on Transparency and Open Government. Healthcare. In her first year as a legislator, Mizeur introduced and passed the Family Coverage Expansion Act to allow young adults to stay on family health plans until age 25. In 2009, Mizeur introduced and passed the Foster Kids Coverage Act to extend Medicaid coverage to former foster care youth. In 2008, Mizeur introduced and passed the Kids First Act to find and cover an estimated 100,000 children who were uninsured but eligible for public coverage. According to the 2009 Joint Chairman's Report on Barriers to Enrollment at the Community Level, from July 2008 to December 2009, the Kids First Act helped cover an additional 50,000 children. The Kids First Act was instrumental in delivering more than $75 million in federal health bonus funds for Maryland. In 2011, Mizeur introduced and passed the Family Planning Works Act to expand family planning services to low-income women at or below 200% of the federal poverty level. The Guttmacher Institute estimates this expansion would have the potential to avert as many as 7,980 unintended pregnancies, 2,650 abortions, and 4,150 Medicaid births annually. The Maryland Department of Legislative Services noted that general fund savings from those averted births alone could be as much as $39.05 million. Mizeur co-authored a Washington Post editorial with Republican co-sponsor Delegate mih-ZEER to champion both the fiscal savings and health benefits to this legislation. Mizeur also sponsored successful legislation, known as the Prosthetic Parity Act, to improve health benefits for amputees. Mizeur has received numerous accolades for her health care work: Good Works Done Well Award, Primary Care Coalition, 2009, Legislator of the Year Marfie, 2009, Health Care Hero, The Daily Record, 2011 and 11 and 11 11. Dr. Henry and Paige Laughlin Distinguished Public Official Award, Montgomery County Medical Society, 2011. State Hero Award, National Alliance on Mental Illness, Montgomery County, 2011 and 11 and 11 and 11 and 11 and 11. Choice Advocate Award, NARAL Pro Choice Maryland, 2011. Legislator of the Year, Maryland Association of Community Services, 2012. Job creation. In 2008, Mizeur introduced and passed legislation alongside Senate President Mike Miller to create the Coordinating Emerging Nanobiotechnology Research Center in Maryland program. Center is a state-administered grant program for nanobiotechnology projects that develop potential life-saving technologies. In a Washington Post editorial opposing the 2012 plan to expand gambling in Maryland, Mizeur outlined her economic priorities for Maryland. In 2012, Mizeur worked with the Maryland Energy Administration in 2012 to create a biomass heating grant pilot program to enable homeowners to purchase EPA-certified wood and pellet stoves. Marriage equality. As one of 9 LGBT legislators in the Maryland General Assembly, Mizeur has been a vocal supporter for marriage equality. She has written editorials urging Maryland to enact same-sex marriage and worked with several national LGBT organizations. Mizeur's floor speech during the 2011 debate on the Civil Marriage Protection Act went viral after it was picked up by national LGBT blogs. Committees and commissions. Mih-ZEER serves as a senior member of the House Appropriations Committee, which has jurisdiction over the state budget. In 2011, she was appointed the vice chair of the Education and Economic Development Subcommittee. In addition to her role as vice chair, Mih-ZEER is a member of the Montgomery County House delegation. She also serves on the Maryland Medicaid Advisory Committee, the Marcellus Shale Safe Drilling Initiative Advisory Commission, the Maryland Affordable Housing Trust, and the Joint Committee on Transparency and Open Government. 2014 Maryland Gubernatorial Election. Mih-ZEER was a candidate for the Democratic nomination in Maryland's 2014 gubernatorial election. Reverend Dillman Coates was her running mate. Mih-ZEER has co-sponsored a bill to legalize, tax, and regulate marijuana in Maryland. On January 31, 2014, she received the support of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. She has also received the endorsements of the Maryland National Organization for Women, the Sierra Club, and the Women's Campaign Fund. National politics. In 2004, Mih-ZEER served as Maryland's state director for the John Kerry 2004 presidential campaign. In 2006, she was elected as one of Maryland's Democratic National Committee members. In 2009, President Obama appointed Mih-ZEER to the DNC Executive Committee. As a DNC member, Mih-ZEER was a superdelegate in the 2008 Democratic presidential primary. In an effort to support the party above any of the candidates, Mih-ZEER opted to stay neutral. In explaining her decision to stay neutral for as long as she did, Mih-ZEER said, "We have a democracy, not a monarchy. We are not about coronating candidates." When it became clear that he would win the nomination, Mih-ZEER endorsed Barack Obama on June 4, 2008, saying, "It's time for everyone to rally around our nominee. I intend to pledge my support for Barack Obama. I am going to extremely enthusiastically support him." In 2009, Mih-ZEER was appointed to the White House Task Force of State Legislators for Health Reform, where she advised the Obama administration on state best practices to be included in the Affordable Care Act. 2016 U.S. Senate Endorsement. In March 2016, Mih-ZEER announced her endorsement of Chris Van Hollen over Donna Edwards for U.S. Senate. Her district overlapped both of theirs. In a Baltimore Sun article, she stated, "There is a huge difference between the candidates seeking to replace U.S. Senator Barbara Mikulski and Chris Van Hollen wins by a landslide," saying that the problems of her constituents in Edwards' district were often ignored, while Hollen's office quickly resolved his constituents' problems and even helped with Edwards' constituents. 2022 U.S. House Campaign. Mih-ZEER announced her campaign for Maryland's 1st congressional district against Republican incumbent Andy Harris, citing his response to the 2021 storming of the Capitol. Personal life. Mih-ZEER married her wife, Deborah, in a private ceremony in 2005 on the Chesapeake Bay. They were legally married in California in 2008. They reside on a 34-acre organic farm in Chestertown, Maryland, named the Apotheosis of Washington, after the famous fresco that adorns the dome of the United States Capitol.